Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be another Christmas movie review for you guys, and this time the movie I'm going to be reviewing is a movie that is another part of my nostalgia, okay? This is another movie that I watched when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it, and just like all the other movies on this list, I haven't seen in a very long time. And, the movie that I'm going to be watching, I watched it solely for the purpose of, a lot of people don't really like this movie, and I wanted to see if I could find things I don't really like about it, you know, and see maybe their point of view. And that movie is the 2000 musical fantasy comedy Christmas film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, let me talk about this movie for a second. This movie, I haven't seen it as much as I've seen some of the other films on this list. Like, I haven't seen it as much as I've seen, like, say, like, I haven't seen it as much as, like, Elf, or, you know, Elf I haven't seen many times either, but, like, Jingle All the Way, or, Night Before Christmas, I haven't seen this movie as much as that. I think I've only seen this movie about 2 times. And I remember I got the DVD because I really enjoyed it, I really wanted to watch it, and, basically, this movie, I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with it, and after watching this a second time, what do I think of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the feature-length movie? Of course, this is based on the animated shorts. What do I think of this movie? This might be the first movie that, when I go back and watch it, I don't realize that I don't really like it. I'm going to be honest, I don't really like this movie. There are some things that I think are very good about this movie that I definitely really enjoy, but there are a lot of things that I don't really like about this movie. There's a lot of things that I wish they had not done with this movie, and there are just so many things about this movie that are straight up bad. And when I say bad, they are bad. And there are some very good things about this movie, though, but let's get to the plot of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Basically, the plot is pretty much the plot of the TV special. We focus more on the city of Whoville. Everyone celebrates Christmas, you know, it's very happy and everything, with the exception of this very mysterious creature called the Grinch. You know, he despises Christmas and the Who's with very great wrath, and, you know, he always, you know, sometimes he even pulls, like, dangerous pranks on them, and, basically, we see that, Cindy Lou Who, of course, in the TV special, she has one very important scene. In this movie, she's actually the main character. She's actually one of the main characters. She is actually 6 years old in this movie. She was 2 in the special, but she's 6 in here. She believes everyone is really missing the point about Christmas. You know, they're more concerned about the gifts, and really it's kind of just all commercial, and she's kind of sick of that happening. And, she starts to become aware of the Grinch's existence and starts to become interested in him and basically starts to become obsessed with him. And she asks everyone what they know about him, and basically, you know, she wants to find out what's going on with him and everything. And that's basically the plot of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's basically what the plot is. I don't want to give away anything else because I'll ruin one of my favorite parts of the movie, but that's basically the plot of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, let me talk about something. The plot of this movie, I think, is very, very good. I actually really enjoy the plot of this movie. I like that it goes more in depth on Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch, because in a full-length movie, you can't do what a 30-minute TV special can do. You have to have more depth to some of the characters, and I think the movie did a good job of doing that. Let's get to the acting in this movie. Now, the acting in this movie. There's some acting that's very, very good, and let's talk about our main star here. Obviously, the one we have talked about the most is Jim Carrey, who knocks it out of the park as the Grinch. He was destined to play this role. Every movie that he does, he just puts his heart and soul into it, and he did a great job portraying this character. Was this the best role that Jim Carrey's ever done? No, it's not as funny as, like, Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, or The Mask. It's not as funny as those movies, but I do think he did a very good job with what he had in this movie. And his character, what I like is that my favorite thing about this movie is that it gets you to care for the Grinch. You know, it actually makes us realize some stuff about him. We find out that basically, you know, these are spoilers if you guys don't know this. It's revealed in, like, the first 5 minutes in the movie. But we find out that he was actually arrived in Whoville by mistake when he was, you know, a baby. And, basically he was adopted by 2 very old sisters. And eventually, you know, he was ridiculed by classmates and everything because of his appearance. And basically, on Christmas, there was this girl he liked, Martha, and he attempted to shave his face, and, you know, basically shave his face, and they made fun of him and everything, and he was happy about Christmas and everything, but then he just realized that he hated Christmas because that was the day that he was ridiculed and embarrassed the most, and I think that the movie really did a good job of getting us to care for the Grinch more, and I definitely really enjoyed that. That's probably my favorite part of the movie, actually, is that twist with the Grinch. Just the fact that it really changes his character. I mean, in the TV special, we don't really know why he's like this. They don't really establish it. They just establish that he hates Christmas, that's the hook. But again, this is a movie. This is not a TV special, so they have to do more with it. And I like that they decided to do more with his character, and I think Jim Carrey portrayed that character very, very well. You can see that he very much hates Christmas, but he's very, very funny in the movie. He has some very funny lines. He has some very quotable lines. And I thought he did a good job. It's laughable in a good way. It's not bad acting by any means, and I thought he definitely did a very good job. And also, Josh Ryan Evans, who portrayed the 8-year-old Grinch, was fantastic. I thought he was great as well. Taylor Momsen plays Cindy Lou Who, and she is surprisingly a very good actress. I thought she was very good in this role. You could see she really cared about the Grinch. She really wanted, and especially after she finds out that information about the Grinch, you know, she wants people to see his good intention and possibly get that good back in him, and I liked her in this movie. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't, you know, her whole mission was just to get Christmas to be how it should be, to get not be about the presents anymore, and to get it more about, you know, the spirit of Christmas, and I like that about her character. I thought they definitely did a very good job with her character. Here's the problem with the movie. Besides those two actors, everyone else in this movie is completely terrible, okay? Everyone else in this movie just sucks. They're not good at all. Jeffrey Tambor as the mayor is just hamming it up the entire time. I mean, Jim Carrey is hamming it up as the Grinch in a good way, but Jeffrey Tambor, I thought, was terrible. He is the main antagonist of the movie. The twist that he was the bully that tormented the Grinch, I thought it was silly, honestly. It doesn't really work for me. I thought his character was silly, was just silly, and the whole thing with him and the love triangle with Christine Baranski, who, may I say, is the worst person in this movie. Christine Baranski has no personality in this movie whatsoever. I did not think she did a good job. I didn't like her acting in this movie. And really, just all the acting in this movie, besides Jim Carrey and Taylor Momsen, is a complete train wreck. And I thought Christine Baranski was just horrible in this movie. I did not like her at all. And, you know, I just thought that whole love triangle between them was ridiculous. I really just wanted this movie to focus more on the Grinch. And honestly, one of the things I wish this movie would have done is the movie was originally supposed to be called The Grinch. I feel like the movie should have just been about the Grinch's past and us finding out more about him. I understand that, but, like, I understand you have to tell the story, but I felt like it should have been in the Grinch's point of view almost the entire time, because the original TV special is, while this is more in Cindy Lou Who's point of view and focuses more on the citizens of Whoville, it does do a very good job with that, but there's a lot of things that I just thought were completely unnecessary. Cindy Lou Who's parents, Bill Irwin and Molly Shannon, they're not good either. The additional characters in Whoville were really silly, and anytime we had anything with Whoville, this movie is very, very boring. When they're not talking about the Grinch, and they're focusing more on the main plot of this movie, it's not interesting, it's boring in my opinion. I was not into the story when we weren't focusing on the Grinch. The first few minutes of this movie, I was like, I'm not really enjoying this. When we saw the Grinch, I really started to enjoy it, but after that, I really was not enjoying it, and I thought that it wasn't as good as I would have really wanted to be. The directing by Ron Howard is very, very good. Ron Howard is always a very good director. This is definitely not one of his best, but it is a very good directed movie. I think the problem with it was that he didn't know really how to portray Whoville. Whoville's portrayed in a very good way, but I really wasn't that interested in Whoville. I was more interested in the Grinch's character, especially after we found out that he, you know, how he was and how they tried to make him become mayor and everything. I really made his character a lot more vulnerable, and I would have wanted to focus more on that than we actually did on Whoville, and I wish we would have focused more on the Grinch, which we do in the second half of the movie, but the screenplay, I think, is very much very good. I think the screenplay is good in this movie. The narration is also very good by Anthony Hopkins. I didn't really see the point of it. I thought the narration was kind of silly. I understand it's supposed to be like the TV special, but I thought the narration was kind of just unnecessary. I thought the narration was just okay, but it really was not necessary. Also, there are some points in this movie that randomly Jim Carrey starts to, like, rhyme. I understand he just wanted to have fun with the character, but I just thought that was just kind of silly. By the way, you could definitely tell that everyone in this movie was having a very good time. No one in this movie looked bored. Christine Baranski looked bored, but Jim Carrey, you could definitely tell, was having a ball with this movie. The cinematography is fantastic. This movie has some amazing effects, especially after the Grinch decides to steal Christmas and everything. It's very amazing effects. Thought the effects were definitely very well done. The score to this movie is great. The editing is great. The movie didn't feel long to me. It really didn't. It really moved by quickly, and I thought it was good. But it does have quite a few problems here and there. Another problem with this movie is that it doesn't want to be as, it goes back and forth between dark and comedic, and it's not really funny. It's not really a funny movie. The things that the Grinch says, some catchphrases here and there were funny, but the jokes in this movie are not very funny, and it just does not work, in my opinion, when you focus away from the Grinch. When they focus away from the Grinch, I was not as into the movie, and it just made me, like, not as interested in it. I understood the point of it, I just didn't really like the way it worked out. Now, the ending of this movie, I thought was kind of abruptly done. The ending of this movie, of course, spoilers if you guys have not seen, of course, the Grinch does return to Whoville. He confesses to the burglary, apologizes for his actions, who reconciled with the Grinch and everything. Martha turns down Mayhew's proposal, decides to stay with the Grinch instead. I didn't really care about that. I really did not care about the storyline at all. I thought it was stupid. Grinch, you know, then starts a new life with the Who's, and I understood the ending, but I just thought the movie was sort of like just too perfect of an ending. I would have wanted some sort of thing that didn't end perfectly, like maybe Martha realizes she doesn't really love the Grinch or something. Maybe she realizes she just wants to be friends with him. I didn't really buy the relationship between them. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't buy it between them. When you had the younger Martha, yes, I bought it, but I didn't buy the relationship between the Grinch and Martha. I just didn't see it. I didn't see the point of it. I didn't see what it was trying to show. I liked it was trying to show that someone cared for the Grinch, but why'd you have to give the Grinch a love story? I don't see the Grinch falling in love. I don't want to see that. This is sure as a hell a lot better than The Cat in the Hat, I will say that. And this movie is planning on being remade, which I really hope it does not happen, because I think this is a fine adaptation. It's not a bad adaptation in any way, it's just not perfect. Overall, I do really enjoy this movie. I like the way the movie ended. I think in the second half of the movie, things really picked up, and I definitely enjoyed it more. There are things in the movie I don't really like. I don't really like the movie. It doesn't focus on the Grinch as much as it should. But I think the movie did do its job. It did what it wanted to do. It told the story. The Grinch made us care more for his character. And it definitely did a good job of doing that. Also, this movie is very good for kids. Definitely, if you guys have kids, definitely, they'll love this movie. Kids are going to love this movie, okay? Kids will love this movie so much. They'll love the idea of it. They'll love the Grinch's character. They'll think it's very funny. Definitely, I would recommend watching this movie. I remember when I was a kid, I loved it. But looking back, it does have a lot of problems. And I'm glad that I went back and watched it, because I realized that it does have quite a few problems. But that's basically my review of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Now, if I had to compare a special to the movie, obviously pick the special. The movie is good, but the special is really where it's at. If you want to if you've never seen The Grinch, I recommend the special. The movie's good, but the special is really the great stuff. The special is really the amazing stuff. The movie's not amazing. It's just a good movie. But that's basically for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for another Christmas movie, because I'm going to watch another one today. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.